and it was delayed till 9 p.m. the next night.
That's a whole nother 24 hours. You have an obvious deep state controlled party versus he could be, but he might not be. You got the obvious versus the maybe. She was voted the most liberal senator. There is like a history of social media leaning more left. We're not bad enough. I'm almost believing any conspiracy I see now just because there's been so many that are right. It's like, I'm believing this until it's proven false. Where's Taylor? Where's Ben at? Slackers.
Yes, sir.
Carson's not even, I'm not even hating on Carson just because he hasn't been here in months. What?
Says sleeping just like me.
Yeah, we would have started 40 minutes ago, but he fell asleep. So this may be shorter, but top 5 Americans of all time, not happening today. Welcome to the Put Work In podcast.
Whoa.
What?
Wrong podcast, dude.
Oh, I really did do it wrong that time. Welcome to the Burden Society podcast, formerly known as the Put Work In podcast.
Burden Society. This is just a podcast.
This is our podcast, okay? Stop with the semantics. I've said it 7 different intros here. So we're at a podcast here, and you're here watching us. But yeah, I got the ghost face pop right here. What you got, C4? Is that the baby C4?
Yeah.
Starburst?
I can get about 4 of them in pretty quickly if I get the baby ones.
At once?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Very interesting. So we were going to talk about top 5 Americans of all time. This is like our 5th week in a row going to talk about that. But we're just going to wait till everybody can show up. Where are y'all at? Huh? Taylor? Ben? Potentially Carson? I don't know. He never said he was coming. But
that was his idea.
So we got a couple other things we can talk about. We just ran a 3K yesterday. What is a 3K? Never heard of it before. It's 3,000 meters, guys. 200 meters short of 2 miles. So we ran it. Cookie sprinted it. Dude, what was your time?
So I ran the 3K, which is 1.8 miles in 11 minutes, 56 seconds. And then we ran an extra slightly under 200 meters because we're doing a 2-mile test. And I did it in 13 minutes, 19 seconds.
I was just thinking, bro, you finished 5 minutes ahead of me.
Yeah. Or almost, like just under 5 minutes.
I think, what'd you say you finished at? 12? 13, 12?
13, 19.
19? Yeah, I ended up, I think it was 18:02 was my time on Strava for 2 miles.
Actually, I think my Strava time was 2 seconds quicker, but I think my activity was 13:19.
But yeah, so he's 5 minutes faster than me over the course of 2 miles. So me think my mile time is like 7:49 right now, and yours is like 6. So it's about 2 minutes, so 4 minutes. So I lost like a whole minute just based off of lack of endurance. I can go quick, like I can hang with Cookie for 2 steps. No, when we did that little 200 meter sprint, you had took off, bro, and I was like, dang. But then I stayed at the same pace as you for a solid 5 seconds. Which that's a long time when you're only running for like 40.
Are you talking about the one that day at the gym with the...
No, not that one. I'm talking about the one yesterday. That one at the gym that day was just stupid, bro. You were gone. I dropped my tab in my drink. Oops.
Egg.
But we have a interior group, I guess. I'm trying to think of we have a more exclusive fitness group inside of the Burden Society that is designed to like just be toxic and push each other. Extreme accountability group is what I call it, but we do like challenges in there. We're doing a 2-mile run and deadlift challenge right now, and Cookie won both of the first entries. and we're going to retest in the first week of September. But he is first place on the run and the deadlift.
And it's going to be just about impossible to actually
Improve.
unless I upgrade from being consistently inconsistent to being consistently consistent.
I mean, I trained for 6 weeks and only dropped 10 seconds off my mile, but I only really trained for like 3. So there's that. Yeah, the person that does the best is not going to improve the most. I think the people like that are towards the bottom are the ones that are going to make the biggest gains. And it's all going to even out. I don't know who's going to win because we're measuring performance and progress. So if Cookie like only gets 2 seconds better on his run, but everybody else does 30, 40 a minute better, which at 2 miles it's possible, man. The longer the run, the more you could take off. But so we're going to do a leaderboard for that and then tally up the points. So Cookie, I don't know, man. You're going to be like middle of the pack, I think, just based off because your performance is not. What if you get worse? Because it's very possible.
I felt good on deadlift that day,
and
that don't happen often.
And you didn't PR, so we'll see what happens. So if y'all want to join in on something like that, we do have other challenges in the Burn Society Facebook group. So get plugged in there if you're not already. Let me see if I can share the feed. No, I can't share the feed to the group. Not from my side. But yeah, join the Facebook group. We got like 80 members now. And we do challenges. We did a push-up challenge. And we gave the guy that won it like $20. I mean, that's not crazy, but you know, you never know. We might give you a free t-shirt. Whatever, you know. What's up, Owen? Biggest asset, Owen Raines. He's our current biggest asset holder. Okay, there's the next one, guys. If you want it, you got to come to the Forge, August 23rd. Show up, show out, be an asset.
Whoa.
And you can get that trophy. Become the biggest asset.
Be an asset, guys. Don't be what he said.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, so join the Facebook group if you're not already, because we are trying to build a community out of there. You actually tried it on Discord, but Discord did not work. We still have the Discord, but there's literally no activity on there. So if you're on the Discord, which you're probably not, because there's like 20 people on there, go to the Facebook group. Only thing about Facebook, you have to be careful about what you say. So just get plugged in. We say some uncareful stuff at the Forge. Show up, show out. See y'all then. Whatever. Cookie.
Yeah.
Should people come to the Forge, bro?
Absolutely. If you have the means, even if you don't have the means, come to the Forge.
We got extra tents. We got extra sleeping bags.
We have extra tents.
Yes, I have 2 tents. You have like 7.
Trevor has 10-person tent.
Yeah, we have a 10-person tent. So there's no reason not to come other than you're at work. If you have to work, just quit.
Yeah, like me.
Oh, have you quit?
Boss, this is my 2 weeks notice. I hope you're watching this.
He's not. He's definitely not. So, Cookie, what about your mission trip to Alaska, bro? You go to Alaska to hang out with the outdoor boys? When's that video coming out?
I don't know how often they record their videos before they post them. So, I don't know. You may see it 2026 or so. I know. It's pretty nice, man.
Yeah, it's crazy how they're on that note, their videos, like 1 week they're in Alaska, then they're in Japan, and then they're in Alaska again, and then they're in Africa. Like,
and then they're
obviously he's not doing
Alaska.
this week to week. Like, he's like, I spent 2 weeks in Africa, and then he's like 3 days in Alaska. And it's like, this timeline is not adding up.
Hey, brother, just spend like a day or two at the house. Get some rest.
When are you editing these videos?
Yeah, it was cool.
Did you accomplish the mission?
I could have done better,
Dang,
but
bro.
I did enjoy my time there. Other than the whole airline incident, I got a story to tell y'all.
Tell us the story of how you escaped Alaska, because you were in
So
deep cover mission in Alaska. Can't talk about it too much, but he succeeded his mission, but could have done better.
yeah,
You take notes for next time. But the extraction is Netflix worthy.
so we decided to do a civilian extraction, and we had went on a fun little trip Saturday. Right, we were trying to blend in as much as we could with the civilians, and we went on a glacier ride. So
What is that?
we got on this boat on Portage Lake, and the boated. What do you say on a boat? You don't drive, right? I guess you do drive a boat.
Sure.
Anyway, we rode on this boat about 20 minutes, got to this glacier, just stopped there for a little bit, and came back. And we're getting off the boat, and it's 1 o'clock, and they're telling us on the intercom that there has been a wreck on the highway out, and it could delay traffic up to 5 hours. Oh, you're like, surely not, right? Surely they have a little bit better traffic control than that, right? I was wrong.
Yeah, it's like a lot of those roads are like one way in, one way out.
Yeah, so where we were, it was actually, I want to see if I can pull up a map to it right quick, to give you a slightly better understanding. Let me pull this up in a whole new browser so y'all don't see
What you got going on there?
All right, this is good right here. This is good. This is good. This is great.
Excellent.
So Portage down here, we were on this lake right here, and we also went here, which is pretty dope. But yes, we went on this lake, and this is the only road out of here, right? This highway, which is like Seaward Highway or something. And
This you had a view.
I want to say we were probably around here somewhere, and we hit traffic at like 1:45, and we did not get out until almost 7 o'clock, or it may have been after 7. But we had a plane to get on at 8:30. Oh, at 8, and we were leaving at 8:35. And we were only 20 minutes from the hotel, or from the church we were staying at. The church we were staying at was like over here somewhere, because we were actually right next to this Air Force base. But we
Don't be giving your locations away, man.
that's who we were training with.
OPSEC,
Was the Air
bro,
Force
OPSEC.
base. But we hit that traffic jam, and we did not get out. Hey, brother, what we doing here?
Blur. It was just a blur. Yeah, I was like, dang, this dude's still in traffic.
So yeah, we were in traffic for about 5 hours. So exactly what they said. And then we rushed to the airport.
That's crazy.
We had people pick up our luggage.
Hey, at least they know. Like, they're like, yeah, it's gonna be. You know what you're getting into.
Yeah. And so we had people pick up or get our luggage from the church to meet us at the airport with it. And we get there just in time to check in. We're all in a rush, but we got there with enough time to check in, go through TSA, and we're sitting in line for our plane. And then everybody's phone starts going off, says it got delayed. And it was delayed till 9 p.m. the next night.
That's a whole nother 24 hours.
Yeah, so everybody starts the line. Well, there wasn't quite a line yet. We were just getting ready for them to start calling our groups and stuff. But then a line starts forming at the desk, and a bunch of angry people. And they stood there about an hour to an hour and a half, or probably about an hour, trying to figure out what was going on. And they said that Wait a minute, I'm wrong. Give me a minute. That's the wrong thing. No, we actually got there within time to board. So everybody got on the plane. I'm jumping ahead of myself here. Where everybody's on the plane. We're sitting here like it's about 8:30. We're still waiting to take off, and we're supposed to already be departed from the gate by now. Me and a couple other people already bought the Wi-Fi and stuff. Man, we're ready to go because we're all angry about the traffic jam. We're ready to leave, and then our phone starts going off. Delayed about 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, 15 minutes, no biggie, right? They come over the intercom, explain the situation, some kind of valve not opening on an engine, and they're on the phone with people in Dallas, just going to get it manually open, and it's good to go. Delayed another 15 minutes. The pilot said it should take about 10 to 15 minutes to get it settled. And then it gets delayed another 30 minutes. And then an hour. And then it got delayed to 2:30 a.m. And
At
then
what point did you get off the plane?
Well, about five, and it's like 5 to 10 seconds in between these delays that our phones are going off at.
Oh.
And then it said delay till 9 p.m. And then a few minutes comes by, and then they come on the intercom saying we're about to deload the plane or deplane. And so we were on the plane for 30 to 45 minutes before we finally were unloaded. So then we get off the plane. I'd say it's probably about 9:30. We get in, or Miss Dana, or one of the people that came with us, she got in line at the check-in to get our flights changed and stuff. That line was not moving. She was in that line for about 3 or 4 hours before she finally got to the desk to get our flights changed. And we did not leave the airport till 2:30 that morning. We had people from the church come and pick us up. And we got our flight changed, but it was the same exact flight we were going to be flying out of. So we had to wait on it anyway. And the only flight we got changed was the one from Dallas to Memphis. Instead, we went from Dallas to Jackson. We get there the next day. Man, we got there like 6 hours early. Man, we're like, we're not missing this plane. So we got there like, we don't leave till 9. We got there like 3 o'clock. They let us do check-in and stuff like 2 hours early so we could go ahead and be ready.
Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready.
So we're sitting outside the gate. Delayed. 12 hours. Delayed till 9 a.m. the next day. That's when the line starts forming at the desk and people trying to figure out what's going on. Man, they flew mechanics in from Dallas the day so they could come because they had to be like contract mechanics or something. They had to have these people come and work on this engine. And they flew them in, but they never looked at the plane until it was time for us to get on it. It took them only an hour. It took them like less than an hour to fix it, but they had to let the crew sleep.
They said, we tired, boss.
And found out when we finally got on the plane the next morning, somebody asked one of the flight attendants, and she said that, yeah, we were on the way to the airport, but American Airlines told us, don't worry, the flight's going to be delayed. And didn't tell anybody else. So, yeah, we finally left out at 9 a.m. Alaskan time on Tuesday. What was that?
And you're supposed to be back like Sunday.
Yeah, we're supposed to be back Sunday at 10:30, and we didn't.
A.M.
Yeah, we didn't leave Alaska until 9 o'clock their time on Tuesday. Landed in. Oh yeah, that's not it. By the way, we landed in Little Rock, and we're not Little Rock. We landed in Dallas. We were about to fly to Little Rock. We landed like 8 or something. Man, what is tomorrow? Or we landed like 7:30 or something. And our flight was supposed to take off at 9. Actually, I think I have a ticket right here. Yeah, I did. Heck yeah. Sorry, what time we were supposed to be. Our flight was supposed to take off at 9:08 or 9:38. And we got there at like 7:40
p.m.
p.m. So we landed in Dallas at like anywhere from 7:30 to 8. And we had enough time to eat and stuff. We're sitting outside the gate. And they didn't have any crew there for our flight. So then that flight got delayed for 2.5 hours. And we did not leave Dallas until like 12 o'clock. And we were supposed to leave at 9:30. So we landed in Little Rock at like 2 o'clock.
2 a.m.?
Yeah, 2 a.m. And I did not get home until
Wednesday.
5 o'clock Wednesday morning.
Okay, so that's 5 o'clock Wednesday morning.
I was almost 72 hours late getting home.
Almost 3 days late completely. You could have driven nonstop and got home quicker. I was telling Taylor and them, I think it was somebody. I was like, all right, guys, here's how long it's going to take us to get there. We got to go get him. That would have been crazy.
Everybody was starting to think, like, man, maybe we should have listened to Peyton. Because I was joking a lot on the way leading up to the trip about, man, I'll just drive. And don't worry, it's only 67-hour drive.
Yeah, dude was terrified of his first flight. How did that go, bro? Did you survive?
Okay, so the thing is, I'll tell everybody this. I wasn't scared of the flying itself.
Just the potential to not be flying?
Yes.
Mid-flight?
Just the potential of, me not being in control of what I'm in. And I go from flying to not flying very quickly. But I guess at least, I lived a life, 24 years old.
Yeah, man, you got a lot of accomplishments, lots of buckets
I have it
made under your machines you've maintained.
1332 miler, man. I'm doing pretty good so far. So,
well, not sub 9.
It's freaking stupid.
All right, well, you made it back, bro. I was worried about you. Not really.
Yeah, we made it back,
excited.
Man. I'm gonna go back next year.
You coming back? I didn't know if you was gonna leave, bro. I thought maybe you was gonna stay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just started putting in applications at police departments.
I was gonna be mad, bro. I was like, dang, this dude's gonna stay up in Alaska. They say that the police departments carry AK-47s because they're better under cold than ARs.
We actually did not see a single police officer all week until like the last day. Because
directing traffic.
Nah, somebody had from what I heard, they shot the police department window. Somebody shot the police department window, so they're out there fixing it, cleaning up.
Nobody died. There's probably like a bear and elk or something sitting there. Dang reindeer. I was just hunting.
Yeah, man.
Man, what has happened since the last time? So last time we had a podcast, President Trump had just been shot. 2 months ago. Yeah. The whole podcast was about the Trump assassination thing. Well, a lot has happened since then.
We have a, I don't even know if it's a worse nominee, just as bad nominee for the...
I'm still up for debate. It's at least the same.
Yeah.
Well, the Democratic Party has hope that this will, which I don't know why, because she actually polled worse than Biden anytime she ran against Biden, but I guess she's got all the Biden voters now. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, and now there's even more dead people, so she could get even more votes. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, what are you talking about, Owen? You're ready to go home? Oh, you're in Louisiana. That's a light, dude. He's looking at the chickens. There's like we go back to like the assassination attempt. So the assassination attempt happened. Biden was in, like, he was not to be found for like 6 days because he was sick. He announced his not running for president on a personal letterhead with a signature that didn't look like his during that on a social media post instead of during a speech. He comes out days later in a speech looking taller. It's just a bunch of crazy. Like, it's at this point, like, I'm almost believing any conspiracy I see now just because there's been so many that are right. It's like, I'm believing this until it's proven false instead of the other way around. It's just, and then you got like suppression of the story, like with Google, Facebook, AIs, all that, like trying to say like this did not happen, like Trump did not get shot at. And there's actually we talked about this last time, but there's actually people that think it was faked by Trump. Anybody that's ever shot guns or trained with weapons knows that you just don't do that. Like, you have to have the best shooter in the world to shoot your ear. But we're not going to get into that since we already had the whole podcast about it. But yeah, is Harris better than Biden? I don't know, maybe. I don't know. She's definitely, like, she says a lot without saying much at all. Anytime I've seen her speak.
I usually don't pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, you're not clued up on anything, but like, yeah, I'm on X 20 minutes a day, and I scroll Facebook, so that's enough for me to know what I know.
Yeah, maybe more like 20 hours a day. You are constantly sending stuff.
It's literally 20 minutes a day, but it's like the whole 20 minutes. It's like I'm sending everything I see. What are you doing? Come here. Here. So, yeah, I don't know, bro. We're going to find out. It's not looking good. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can't talk about on here because it will get taken down.
And
kicked out. Or yeah, we'll get Epstein. Not really. Because there's so many people saying stuff right now. It's like, all they have to say is like, this dude's crazy. That's not true. It's a conspiracy theory. It's a cheap fake, whatever. They just gaslight you. So it doesn't matter. But I was debating someone. Not really debating. We were having a conversation last week. We were trying to talk about Trump versus Harris. One of the things that he said was the border, which he also said he likes Harris's border policy better, but at the same time, because Trump, I mean, basically everybody knows Trump's policies build the wall. Just build a wall. And I think he said he's against the wall because, it doesn't matter if there's terrorists, cartel members coming back and forth, there's sex trafficking, drug trafficking, all that. He's okay with accepting all that as long as people that need to get out of their countries and to escape whatever they're escaping can come here. Because the legal way is too hard, basically, is what he said. And he said our citizenship test is extremely hard.
Or maybe just be born here.
That's an option. But like, so you're gonna let anybody and everybody in, no vetting at all, just because there's potentially some people that really need to get over here.
I'll be the one to say it. There is just a illegal immigration epidemic in this country, and it could also lead to or I'm not saying lead, but we don't know everything, and it very well could be like part of some bigger plan.
For sure. And even if it's not coordinated, even if they're like, we'll just let them in. And then let them do what they want to do.
It could very well lead to because the way I look at it is I've watched a couple videos recently, it's like why it is so hard to invade the United States, right? Because we're bordered by two major oceans, in which, if you were to try to invade our country from either side, you would not succeed.
Yeah, we have a good Navy.
We'll
see you coming.
We have the two largest air forces in the world. So if you try to work your way through Mexico or work your way through Canada, you will also not succeed. And I believe, this. I'm not saying I don't. I'm not saying
There's
I
no way
believe
to do a
this.
conventional invasion on
Yeah,
America
I'm not saying I
as it
believe
is.
this, but there is definitely a possibility that this is just part of a internal invasion, if that's what you want to call it, and we're not seeing it.
It's definitely suspicious when you watch a video and this guy's interviewing people that cross the border. They're all from the Middle East. They're all in shape, fit men wearing tactical gear, like 5'11" pants. It's very suspicious when you see videos like that. And this is in one location on a very, very big border. Yeah, it's fishy. And it's definitely possible. And even if you go a different route, you go to Europe right now, which from my X feed is Europe's in flames, basically. Which I know it's probably not as widespread as that, but Europe's border policy is basically like anybody can come in, basically. And Muslims have literally taken over, basically. They're in all the positions of power over there. This is theoretical. This is what I see. I'm not literally over there knowing exactly what's going on. But hold on just a second.
Maybe it's just a second, and I'll have to sit here and talk. Okay,
I'm back. Huh? Anyways, I don't know what's going on over there specifically from my experience. I can only see what I see on social media, but what they're showing me is that the laws are in a way to where Muslims are just doing immigrants. We'll just say immigrants, migrants, as they say, are just doing whatever. What's up, Carson? With no consequence. And if you say anything negative about what they're doing, it's racism. You're going to jail. It's illegal to say anything or it's just geared to where it's really like they're just getting away with stuff. Like you got people there's stabbings, mass stabbings. You got migrants coming over. There was this guy from Africa. He come over and I believe he stabbed a bunch of people, but 3 little girls died. And now people are fed up with it. Like the people that are, like the Irish people that are there and have been there forever are like, they were revolting. They're like literally protesting, and it's drawing even more backlash from the other side because the laws are geared to protect people from Islamophobia, xenophobia, whatever it is. And it's just, we're headed that way here. But they're ahead of us. Europe, if you look at Europe, they're literally like 10 to 15 years ahead of us. Maybe not even that long ahead of us. But everything that they try to push here has already been pushed there in most cases. From my view, at least. So I think we could end up there. I mean, America is a lot bigger than Europe and these cities in Europe. But, I think I saw Chad Wright talk about it. He's like, if I put on gear and I go, basically just wreak havoc, I could take over so much area. If I had a group of 10 dudes, I could take a whole city. If I had 100 people, I'm taking states. He's like, because it's not like, if you look at it, man, cops can respond to people because that's who you're going to be facing. If you're one of these people planning something, you're going to be facing police, and they're equipped to face people that are not really kitted up as them. Anytime a police force has come against somebody that was equal, or it's not really that hard to get more trained than cops or get better gear than cops, because they're limited to what they receive from the government. But anytime that has happened, like the Hollywood shooting, obviously police have upgraded since then. They dominated. So you get 10 very well trained extremists, very well kitted up. They could literally take on a whole police force and take over a whole city. And you've seen this type of terrorist attack in the last year in Russia, where they took out like they hit a whole like concert hall or something with 4 men. And I think a lot of people think, you know, even like if we look today, we're going to church today. Our security teams, like for the most part, are thinking active shooter, one guy coming in, just shooting. That's what they're thinking. They don't think about 4 kitted up guys with vests, plates, AR-15s coming in from all angles coming in. They're not kitted up for that. They're not equipped for that. And the odds of that happening in your spot is not very likely, but it's possible. So, and we've seen it happen before. And, you know, since that happened in Russia, the FBI and whatever has been giving warnings that America is pending a terrorist attack. And it's gotten even worse. I've seen even more in the past week. Like, it's going to happen eventually. So I'm just saying y'all need to be ready. But, like, I'm thinking everybody thinks when we talk about America being invaded, it's conventional. It's like troops dropping in, airborne. You got, you know, the Navy's coming in on the coast, landing. But it's really, we're set up for the small units just wreaking havoc in cities. And we're not prepared for that.
Yeah.
Amen.
To be honest, I kind of lost my train of thought there.
We're at the border, bro. Like, should we just let everybody in? Absolutely not. And
not
look,
even close.
It's easy. Like, they get over here, it's easy for them to get guns. Which is the problem with banning. My glasses got fogged up. I think I spit on them. It's easy to just say we're going to ban weapons and confiscate guns, but it's illegal to have guns in Illinois and Chicago or whatever to a certain extent, and they have those. They have automatic weapons on the streets there.
Don't let that topic go away. I want to talk about that next. But yeah, the whole border thing. Who cares how hard it is to become a United States citizen, right? There's a reason for that, you know. We don't want just anybody and everybody in our country because of the havoc that they can wreak. You know, we're not trying to have any more terrorism. And no matter what you think about 9/11 or any of these other, you know, before I say this, I want to fact check myself and see if what this guy was. I don't want to know if he's white or not.
And we got, even to add on to all that, we have the heat rising in the Middle East. Like, we literally have sent our Navy over there. We've sent aircraft carriers. I think I read something today. We just sent 4,000 Marines to the Middle East. Like, war is about to happen. And to keep thinking that it's not coming over here. Like, if we think that the people at the highest levels of our government are corrupt and just money laundering through these wars, getting paid, eventually the bill is going to come due. These people are like Russia and Iran and all them are going to get sick of us messing with them, and they're going to do something here. It's going to come to their doorstep eventually. Our doorstep.
I would much rather have a competent president and somebody that knows how to handle something like that as my president. And say what you want about them, but we were pretty much at peace with both Russia and North Korea, while Trump was president, you know, because Trump was blunt.
Shoot,
Trump kept it real. You know,
we were at peace with everybody, bro. Everybody was scared. They're like, I don't know what to do with this guy.
Like, you know, and he was blunt, you know, and he wasn't scared to say what was on his mind. Biden, he doesn't know what's on his mind. So,
like, the thing about Biden's presidency, like, you see Trump, and he'd get a lot of negative pushback, but he would meet with these leaders. He would go to North Korea. He would go to China and meet with them. He would go meet with Putin. But Biden hasn't.
Putin.
As far as we know, Biden hasn't communicated at all with these countries. And that's not, like, if me and you are mad at each other and we don't talk, bro, and you just keep doing stuff that's making me mad and I'm doing stuff that's making you mad, and we don't ever talk it out, we're going to end up fighting.
You.
Whoa. Yeah, exactly. And it's just not, it's not good.
It's not ideal at all.
You could
And
say it was just bad timing, or it was just how it was inevitable. I've heard somebody say like the economy going up and down, like it was good during Trump and down during Biden because it just goes up and down in waves. That's just how it is. But or you could say it was just peace during Trump because the timing or whatever. It was inevitable. We're going to war. But like during Trump, the economy was great. We weren't in any wars. During Biden says no troops have died under him. He's a complete liar. 13 people died in Afghanistan during the pullout. And they just lie. I mean, you got me on another rant here, but like the vast difference between the presidencies, 4 years to 4 years, it's completely obvious. Like if you want, like you have to be completely blind or just ignoring everything to go with Harris. I mean, because
like we went from a superpower that nobody would want absolutely anything to do against, right? Because we had a leader that I would be honest, if you messed up and messed with us, you would probably no longer exist. And now I don't think our current president would know what to do. We became a laughing stock, and I hate to say that, but I mean it's true. Other countries laugh at us, and even no matter what kind of state they're in, we are on our way to becoming a third world country.
every video you see, and every video you've seen of Biden, like within the past, like since he's been in president, like he's stumbling on his words. He's just standing there looking lost and falling asleep. Like it's been obvious to us because we've been watching. Anybody that's been literally watching this guy has known does not need to be president. But a lot of people say when you say the 4 years, compare 4 years thing, they say, well, Harris is going to be different.
Brother, Harris ran the show for the past 4 years.
Well, I don't think that, because I don't think she's competent enough to run anything. There's definitely a deep state. I think it's more of a deep state thing at the front there, which is I think is why they don't like Trump, is because he is not that, which he could be. He very well could be, but from what I from right here, it doesn't appear that way. And I think you have an obvious deep state controlled party versus the one guy. He might not be. He could be, but he might not be. You got the obvious versus the maybe. I'm going with the maybe. And if you're talking about comparing 4 years to 4 years, Harris will be different. She's literally going to do the exact same things that Biden did. Like, I don't understand why she's so different. She was voted the most liberal senator there was when she was a senator. It does not make any, like, the logic's not there. It's not lining up, guys. Y'all need to go back to the drawing board. Like,
and also, what was it? Was it said that the first 100 days of her term?
Yes, we'll go into that.
Yeah, there would be. She would.
So let's preface this.
Confiscate.
I'll say what she said because
Right.
But their whole presidency, they've been trying. They post this regularly, like almost daily. Ban assault weapons. That's their tweet. Okay, they've done nothing to do that. Okay, it's not going to go through Congress because they've been trying to say that for years. Okay, but if they get the House, they get the Senate, it's possible. Okay, but they've been saying we're going to ban them. We're going to ban them, and then the election comes around. We get elected. We're going to ban them. All right. So the other day she comes out and says, if Congress doesn't pass a law to ban and confiscate, I think mandatory buybacks is the way she put it this time, of assault weapons, then they don't do it within 100 days of her presidency, she's going to pass executive orders for mandatory buybacks.
And here's the thing. What is an assault weapon? And I guess I kind of lied. I was talking to Dylan and a couple others not long ago, saying assault weapon is a relatively new term, but you did have the assault weapons ban in '94. But it's still a very not
you
clear
can make
cut.
it whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, it's not a clear-cut definition as to what assault weapon is. The only reason it's called an assault weapon is because the word assault sounds scarier.
Yeah.
You know, anything, literally anything can be an assault weapon, right? A pencil. You know, if we're going to ban assault weapons, no more pencils
A
in
weapon
school.
used for assaulting.
Everything must be written on a tablet with your finger, you know?
Literally, that's where you go. Like, you look at Europe, they don't have guns. Okay. Now they're trying to ban knives after a certain length. So eventually they're going to be banning pencils because people are going to kill people with whatever they can find.
Yeah.
And if the person doesn't have the same thing you have an advantage over them. Like if you have a knife and I have a gun, I have the advantage, right? And
if I have a
you
knife,
don't have
a pencil, same advantage.
Yeah,
I guess,
and you don't have the gun because you followed the laws, but I got this gun illegally because I'm already going to commit crime. So I had the advantage. And that's the problem with banning these guns is because criminals, breaking laws is already illegal. Yeah. So who cares if I get a gun too to add a little extra charge to it? So I'm going to go find a gun. Oh, might as well make it automatic, which is also illegal.
It's crazy how robbery is illegal and it still happens every day. It's crazy how cocaine is illegal. How long has it been illegal and how much is on the street still? It's crazy how things you ban are still out there.
And law-abiding citizens are going to give their guns back because they don't want to be criminals. So, except the ones with balls.
Be prepared for a roach. That's all I can say.
So, you're going to have criminals still with their guns, still with their illegal guns that they already probably have illegally and have probably modified them illegally. And then you have the citizens that have nothing to defend themselves and have to rely on the police to get there within 45 minutes.
Because that's another thing, you know, like not only are the law-abiding citizens going to be at a disadvantage because they don't have weapons, but even if they didn't give them back, you know, we're still a law-abiding citizen, right? I'm not going to have, you know, a bump stock on my AR-15. How are these? I'll just say, how are these gangsters getting mini Uzis? You know?
Yeah, all their Glocks have switches on them.
Like, explain that to me. You know?
And they're in cities that you can't even have guns in the first place.
Granted, you're probably not going to hit anything if you use a switch on a Glock, but you know,
unless having a fully automatic weapon is not a tactical advantage. Just so y'all know. But it is cool.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason to have it. And we should be able to have fully automatic weapons as Americans. Because that it is infringement on our rights. Yeah. But what I want to ask, though, I have two ways I want to go. What time do you have to leave?
Not till like 9:30.
Okay. What I want to say, one is, remind me to go back to this, but the police are the police going to do the buybacks, or gun confiscations? But the other way I want to go with this is back to the logic of taking away the firearms, because they're starting with assault weapons because they look scary, they sound scary. Okay, most mass shootings are done with pistols, handguns. So they're going to do the assault weapons, and then the mass shootings are still going to be there because handguns. Okay, now we need to go after handguns. You can't have. We can go to the West Coast. Okay, no magazines over 10 rounds, no gun under a certain length. Okay, they do that. You're just making citizens less effective. Ultimately, if I said this the other day, but ultimately, you look at any country where there's been mass genocides, they confiscate the guns first. Common denominator.
Yeah, the goal is to disarm you,
and that's
leave you defenseless.
They will use this mass shootings, kids dying, as a way to rouse up your emotions, to be illogical and give up your safety, give up your freedom for safety.
And I want to ask you this. This is not what I believe, okay? But I do feel that it is a possibility, right? Because, like, again, conspiracies are everything's a conspiracy nowadays. Do you think it is possible that these, and I hate to say this, I really do, but that these shootings are set up to where they can be used as what's the term?
Yeah, you're just being theoretical and asking a question. You're not saying this is how it is because you don't want to
Yeah.
get sued.
Well, also because I genuinely that's not
I
what I
think-
believe, but I think it is a possibility.
I think it's very possible. I think it's possible. And if you even go back to like the 60s, or I think that's when JFK was president, like we literally have it documented that the people in power, the bureaucrats, the generals, whoever it was, came to JFK and were like, hey, we want to start doing like terrorist attacks on our citizens and blame it on Cuba. And then he says no, and then he ends up dead. So that's 60 years ago. How many of so he said no, but he's dead, and now who said yes? Did they even ask? Because you could do that and just point fingers and say somebody else did it. How many Americans have died because of these fake false flag attacks? So, and there's a lot of things you will never know. And I think that's a possibility. I'm not saying yes or no, but yeah, probably, maybe. But all right, so what was the thing? This is what I want. I want to post this on my Facebook. Is if there's any police, because I know that I know what you're gonna say, but you're not a cop yet. He's trying to be a cop, guys.
Whoop, whoop.
But
I'm trying to become hated.
What I want to know is from my local law enforcement, if they passed an executive order, and if the feds call you and are like, "Hey, man, you got to start going door to door. You got to start doing gun buyback events," because there are places where there are gun buyback events now, and there's people are selling really expensive guns for a $50 Taco Bell gift card. Like, I made that part up, but it's close. Like, it's not anywhere close to near the value. But like, if they start doing the mandatory gun buybacks, means you have to, and they know you have guns. If you have guns, they know you have guns. Don't buy and sell a lot if they don't have a registry. If your gun's in Chicago and kill somebody, you're getting a phone call if they find the gun. So they know they know you have guns, and there's no way around it. They know, unless Grandpa, gave you one that's not on the books, which I'm sure we all have one of those. But when that happens, because I think even if they don't pass it under Harris, even if it's I think even the next 10 years, there's probably going to be a Republican candidate that's anti-guns and passes an assault weapon ban. It's going to happen. But like, when this happens and they go door to door, or they have their gun buybacks, are these local police going to do it? Are they going to bend the knee? That's what I want to ask to the local law enforcement. I don't know if there's any watching, but I want to post that to my
Shane
Facebook.
Phelps, answer the question.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to know, because if you are going to do that, and there's a lot of nuances to it. There's a lot of nuances to it. But if you're going to enforce those rules, those unconstitutional laws and executive orders, then you should probably resign. Because what else are you doing that you shouldn't be? Because at the end of the day, the federal government is not your boss. Okay? We're your boss. Without us, none of this exists. So, and I'm not trying to be one of those guys that's like, I'm your boss, but you're here to serve the people. And I don't know. There's part of me that's like, okay, would the right Christian thing do just give up my guns? Or would it be like, I know where this is going to head in the next few years after I give up my guns? Do I want to just, what do I want to, like, I don't, like, what's the proper response to this? Like, do we just, like, I'm not giving up my guns, and then they just take them? because we know, like, everybody will be like, you have to go through the justice system. You have to go through the proper. Guys, if you've seen anything that's going on the past 4 years since the Trump jury and all that, if they're willing to do that on such a large scale with all the media watching and to cheat and to lie and to bend the rules so they can convict somebody, they're going to do it to you. You have a judge in New York City that says the Second Amendment does not exist here. This is not that's not fair anymore, guys. And if we wait for the system to do it right, the system is already failed, bro. It's already broken.
And people are too worried about losing their women's reproductive rights and not worried enough about them losing their Bill of Rights. You know, you're already losing your freedom of speech. You're already about to lose your right to bear arms, which, by the way, is a very important and a very significantly important right. You know,
it's already like it's the only thing holding the if you they could take the rest of them, and they are, because they just lie and gaslight you. But I mean,
you don't have the right. Like, you can't think for yourself. Like, nobody thinks for themselves anymore.
We'll put it into context, though. The Second Amendment was established after they used their guns to fight a tyrannical government. They weren't thinking about hunting. The Second Amendment was literally about military arms for the people to defend themselves against tyrannical governments.
And a big thing people say nowadays is, oh, that was, from muskets and stuff. Yeah, they had the same exact firepower the military had.
If not better.
So why do we not have the same exact firepower the military has?
And
I want a freaking M4.
And you have
fully automatic.
Yeah. Amen. But you got Biden being like, multiple times he said this. Y'all think that y'all's AR-15s are going to defend y'all against my F-15s and nuclear bombs? I'm like, this guy's openly threatening American citizens with blowing them up. Like, first of all. Second of all, Afghanistan, Vietnam, I'm going to name hundreds of places where the citizens did not have the firepower of us or a better armed society and won. And I don't know. I don't know how he could just get away with threatening American citizens like that.
Because he's a Democrat.
Yeah. If Donald Trump had said something like that, he would be hung right now.
He'd be in jail or the grave.
Yeah. Man. I mean, the system's broken, guys. And the reason I say all this is because by the time you actually realize it and you actually understand how broken it is, especially if you're watching mainstream media, if you're watching media on the TV or a channel that's on the TV, stop. It's literally owned by the government. The government controls all that. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
Throw your TV away.
Just watch on the computer.
Yeah, that's all you need is a computer.
That's because he has that. He's biased.
I have a TV, but I haven't used it in 5 years.
But what I'm saying is what you're seeing is what they want you to see. And until you really understand what's going on, it's literally going to be too late. And I think it probably is too late, honestly. We're probably just, we're basically screwed. But, it is what it is. There's hope in Jesus. That's the end of the story there. Jesus is going to win.
Period. Good podcast. Goodbye.
Beep. Literally ends it. But yeah, people are, man, they're deceived, really. And, I hope I'm wrong about all this, but, it's better to, if I'm wrong, what happens? If you're wrong, you're dead. So,
and I think I heard this. I want to talk about this or bring this up real quick. Now, what about Harris changing her accent?
It's actually something that the last, like, Biden didn't do it, I don't think, but Clinton did it, Obama did it. It's called code switching, is the proper term. But if Trump did that, bro, it'd be over with. The standards for a Democrat versus Republican are completely different, honestly. So this guy, and if he's watching, he knows who it is, but I was talking to this guy about Trump. He says he doesn't trust Trump. The reason this is, well, I was trying to get him like Trump versus Harris, because until Harris actually declared that she was the nominee or whatever, he was like, I'm in the middle. I don't know who I'm voting for. But now he's like, I'm all Harris, baby. Because he doesn't trust Trump. He trusts Harris more, is what he says. And then he also said Harris, it gives really good speeches. She's very smart, very intelligent. But Trump, the Project 2025, he read that. It scared black people all around the world, is what he said. This is a black guy that I'm talking to. But I told him, like, man, Trump has literally denounced it multiple times. He said that he hadn't even heard of this until like the last few weeks. What he has read of it, he didn't like, but he hadn't even read the whole thing. It's not his. End of story. You'd think that'd be the end of it. But this guy says, since somebody associated this, Project 2025, which is a bunch of racist stuff or whatever. I haven't even read it, but this is what, people are scared to death of it. If Trump gets elected, this is what he's going to do. But Trump has literally said, I don't know what this is. It's not mine. I don't have nothing to do with it. But this guy literally is like, since he was associated with it, and it could have been somebody that supports Trump, I'm still going to associate that with him. And I'm like, literally, I could write something far extreme left about something that just nobody would sign on to and say that Kamala Harris, this is what she's going to do. And I'm like, bro, would you believe that? And he's like, no. So the logic is just not there. Like,
so that's the problem. That's what I was saying earlier. Of course, I'm sure I know who this is about, but nobody can think for themselves nowadays. They just believe whatever's in front of them. Headlines are a big thing, right? People will read a headline and won't read the whole story and just believe the headline.
Yep.
And that is a very big, but it has its, sides. If it's a headline about Trump, everybody believes it. If it's a headline about their nominee, they won't care. They'll be like, oh, that's not it,
And you got the algorithms too that like literally show people what they want to hear and what'll keep them on there longer. So Democrats only see negative things about Trump. Republicans only see negative things about Biden or Harris now. And there is like a history of social media leaning more left, like silencing like right-wing stuff and promoting left-wing stuff. Like it's literally fact. Look it up. So if you're getting
just
your
don't
stuff in
check
there,
these like your average fact check stuff because those also won't.
it's literally all the same people.
So,
and we're at the point where we're at the the debate happened. The story was Biden is not fit to be president, but Trump, he just lied about everything. The problem is like they're both just saying he lied or he lied. He lied. No, you lied. He lied. So it's like all I can base anything on now is my experience. I'm making 3 times as much money as I made under Trump. And I am literally barely making it under Biden. That tells me that I want Trump to be president. Like, and it doesn't.
I'm just curious.
You've seen stuff all the time. It's like groceries are 3 times, 4 times more now. Yeah, they are. Okay. And if I'm just going to base it off of that, I'm voting for Trump. Okay.
All right, I'm curious.
But what they'll say Trump lies about. Here's an example. He'll be like, I don't know the exact numbers, but he'll be like, inflation is up 27%. And they'll be like, no, it's actually down 4%. And what they're comparing is month to month. They're saying we're down 5% from last month when Trump is literally saying presidency to presidency, it's up this much. So they're saying, no, he's lying about that. Well, he's not lying. And you're just changing the truth around to fit your narrative. What you got over there, dude?
I was Googling the gallon of milk prices from Trump's presidency to what's his face, the ugly dude who's taller now, Biden. And it's gone. It went up $1.50, I think, in like 4 years.
Well, I mean, even if you go back to before Trump, I remember when Biden was president. Biden. Obama was
person.
Yeah, Obama was president. Like gas prices was reaching, they were astronomical. We were hitting close to $4, and that was a big deal. I wasn't able to vote until 2016, so I haven't voted, and I didn't pay attention to politics that much until 2016. But I remember that, and the economy got better under Trump. It just did. So if we're just going economic, I mean, I would like to go, I don't know, point to point, but that's what I did the other day with this guy, and it's like, I literally debunked all your concerns about one, and all your preference about the other are false. So,
yeah, like who doesn't want to live in a country with a better economy, right? Like, so what? You don't agree with some of the things he says, or you hate him because you're told to hate him. Well, at least you don't have to. At least minimum wage was kind of worth something back then.
And they'll be like, well, what about the rights of transgenders, the rights of women? I'm like, they have the rights. There's no more rights to give them. Like, what rights? Like, and he brought up transgender rights would be better under Harris. I'm like,
bro, what rights do they need?
What rights do they need that they don't have? And he said bathrooms. Okay.
Yeah, give them their own bathroom.
That's what he said. Okay. I could see where that would be problematic at a school level when you're literally one person in the whole school. You have to fund a bathroom for them. Okay. Let them use the teacher's bathroom. Okay. That could be problematic. But, and then we're like men and women's sports.
Give them their own Give them
their own sport. Give them their own. Yeah. Like if you're transgender, you go to the transgender league.
Yeah. And let women that want to be, who think they're men, and men that think they're women play in the same exact league, right? You don't have to make two separate leagues. Put them all in the same thing, right? Keep men's leagues and women's leagues fair. Keep the leagues of the only other two genders there are. By the way, in case you didn't know that.
That's just not fair.
Fair.
Well, now here's what we have. We have the Olympics. Okay, it comes out that this is the headline that we're going to skip the opening ceremony because whatever. Here's what they've been doing with the ceremony. Like they're pushing out the information. Like this is an anti-Christian ceremony, and then they get all the Christians riled up, and then they come back. No, it wasn't anti-Christian. You Christians are idiots. It's basically the narrative that they push. They literally trapped the Christians. But anyways, we're going to a similar scenario. You have this boxer that looks like a man, had failed the gender test. So, everybody's saying
you really suck at being a man if you fail the gender test.
Well, it's that she has an XY, has an XY chromosome, beats this girl in a boxing match. And there's outrage because y'all let a man beat a woman in the Olympics. What a shame. So everybody's sharing. Oh, the right wing, they're all like, oh, man, this is terrible. We're letting men beat up women, blah, 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 domestic violence, whatever. And then a day later, they're like, everybody's on the left is like, no, this is a woman that has an XY chromosome. They got a disorder. Like, they're literally like, y'all are idiots. You're mean. You're whatever. I'm like, bro, first off, I don't even think that, like, if you have an XY chromosome, aren't you a man? But second off, like, they didn't have this information. You can't blame them. If this information is not there, literally, they're justified in thinking a man should not beat up a woman. Like, And yeah, you could say they just reacted too quick without all the information, but the information wasn't there. You don't pass the gender test because you have an XY chromosome. That literally makes sense that you're a man. And at this point, they could be making up the information that it's possible for a woman to have a XY chromosome. Like, we're at the point where they misinformation, disinformation, facts, lies, whatever it is, it's all twisted in such a way that you can't argue with people because they just make the stuff up now.
So I was trying to Google something. I missed
now,
all that.
What I saw now is we have two people that failed the same test fighting each other in the Olympics. You're going to have the champion of the world potentially be man in both categories of man and woman. And you got, like, even since the virus, like, they literally are twisting the science to fit the narrative. So how can you trust any information except what you see in front of you?
This is just a little stray from that, which requires no further discussion. I just want to point it out. It's always listen to the science until the science debunks me. Okay.
Yeah,
we can move on.
That's true. It's just so much that's wrong, bro. I hope people got something out of this. If they probably just got pissed.
Good.
We're not mad enough. That's the problem. We're not mad enough. And we keep letting this stuff happen. And the problem is, like, I was listening to somebody, they were like, the left plays to win and the right plays to be right.
I hope Tate succeeds.
I would love that, but I do not think that's going to happen because half the state is dependent on the government.
Yeah, but I hope we wouldn't get the funds. Hopefully the South succeeds.
The South will rise again, boy. So, what was I saying, bro? I forgot.
All these lazy bums can move to California.
That's the problem. They're making California terrible with their agenda. And then they're like, well, this place sucks. I'm moving to Texas. And now Texas is going to be terrible. Because they literally keep voting for the same people. Man, I had a good... Okay, so the left plays to win, but the right plays to be right. So the other day, I come across this guy. It's literally a page called Republicans Against Trump. Well, it may be a different person. But he's a Christian guy. He's like, I am not voting for Trump because he compromised on his abortion stance. Like, because Trump is not going against abortion rights. He's literally just letting the states decide is his stance. He's not going to do anything against it. And I'm like, bro, you're literally taking a vote away from Trump. And which a vote away from someone is a vote for the other one. Like, so if you're going to vote for Biden and I'm going to vote for Trump, but I changed my mind, it would have been 1-1. Now it's 1-0 for Biden, right? This guy literally says, well, this guy is not going against abortion enough, so I'm just going to let abortion up to 9 months win. Like, this logic does not add up. You have to choose out of the two candidates. Like, I get the lesser of, people like to say I'm voting for the lesser of two evils. Like, and we're at the point where it's not even that. I'm just yelling at this point. Like, it does not make sense to compromise and be like, I'm not voting against. Like, if you're not going to vote for somebody, vote against somebody, at least. Unless it's Trump, don't vote against Trump.
Yeah, vote for Trump.
I had to say that. What is that?
I don't know.
Hook 'em horns?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. Because if we really think that they did wrong by the last election, I feel like Harris is more viable option for them to get away with it. Because after the Biden-Trump debate, it's like, if Biden wins after that, it's like a lot less believable than if Harris wins. And they don't. they take it without giving it. I'm trying to say this without saying it, but yeah, it's literally been proven now that 2020 took away. But you know, I don't know. I'm voting one last time at least.
I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go conquer an island somewhere.
Good luck with that.
What name
Don't
it?
tell that on the internet. He's not really gonna. He's joking, guys. All right. Well, Ben just texted. He's gonna be late for church. His alarm didn't go off. I called him and his phone didn't even ring. So I think his phone was like dead.
You didn't call me.
You were up, bro. You're the only one that's up, bro. Taylor, Ben, where y'all at, bro? So yeah, put your hope in Jesus because all this crap is going away. So it's just we're screwed, bro. Here, but you know, people have loved Jesus with less. So that's what we'll do. What do we say now? Burden society. Join the
Jesus
Facebook.
Wins.
Come to Forge. Jesus always wins. Put work in. This light has been flashing. I almost went to go cut it off. Luca did that. But yeah. Top 5 maybe next week. Top 5 Americans.
Maybe top 5 ghost flavors too. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll just do a top 5 episode.
I got my list figured out. I did it in a little pause earlier. Yeah.
No. All right, well. See y'all next time. Yeah, do y'all stuff. We'll see y'all.
Vote Trump.
Hey,
Bye.
no, we're not endorsing, but we're proportion.